I was using my computer, not much because I'm trying to avoid using it, but like just changing a video that was playing. And I got really dizzy all of a sudden. And then I was like, and my left ear started ringing. So that means my C1 shifted. And I can't ever feel when the C1 shifts. Like I don't actually feel anything in like the back of my neck or anything. But I feel like dizziness. And if I start to suddenly go, whoa, like I feel like that's my C1 moving. And so and the thing is, like, it happens even if I'm like standing with perfect posture at the computer, not leaning forward, not hunching, just perfect posture. If I'm using the computer, it happens. And it's bad. It's just so disorienting. And then my ear will ring for like 2 hours until my C1 settles back into place. Like after laying down, sometimes it'll be there for like 6, 7 hours. It'll ring. But I found if I hold my chin, like imagine I was standing and I'm like pushing up against my jaw to like just like same as like a hard cervical collar would, just like hold your uh, head in place. It's not necessarily to do with my jaw. It's just something is supporting my head firmly. Um, and then I'm looking at the computer and doing my thing, and nothing. I don't get dizzy. So, um, and this alleviates the upper cervical, like holding my head in place like that alleviates my like alar area, like the alar ligament. Maybe it's a transverse ligament, longitudinal. I don't know, but that whole area up there being damaged, like that prevents something. Prevents because I don't know what's pulling on the C1 to cause it to move when I'm looking at a screen. But something does. Like it just doesn't happen when I read books. When I look at a magazine or something, it just doesn't happen. But if I'm holding my jaw and like hold my head up firmly with my hand, uh, and while I'm clicking around or something, then I don't get dizzy. My C1 doesn't shift, and that's with perfect posture, meaning like by just looking at the screen and using the screen is causing my C1 to shift. Not even, and that happens like if I'm seated with my head back on a chair. That happens if I'm laying down looking at a screen. Like it happens like if I've been looking away periodically, but if I just stare at the screen for a few minutes, the same thing will happen. I'll be like, whoa, and like my C1 will shift. And it's just, and my head's completely supported, right? So it's like, I don't know why that happens, but it's just more evidence that has to do with the damaged ligaments. But then my thought is that like, if doing that pulls on my C1, like I wonder how many people it's doing that for, like when you're using the computer 8 hours a day at work or something. Even with a supported head, your C1 might get pulled on. Um, and over time, over thousands of hours we're at the computer, that could like even in ergonomic position, it can cause strain on those upper cervical ligaments because it has to resist those forces. So that could be something that's degrading our ligaments in everyone and making us more susceptible to forward head posture, even when we're in an ergonomic setting, like loss of cervical curve, stretching of ligaments, even when we're like for my entire career, like working on a computer, I was always leaning back in my chair. I mean, occasionally I would lean forward, but mostly I was like 7 hours a day I'm reclined in my chair because I had a nice headrest and everything. And then maybe I was doing damage the whole time. Anyway, obviously not everyone that I worked with ended up in a bed like me, but I think it's just it makes it worse. It can add to it. So I guess it would be more consequential for people. I suppose it would be good for people to take more breaks and get rid of screen time in general. Of course, we all know that because we all spend too much time on the screen. I mean, even grandmothers and grandfathers do these days. Just spend way too much time on screens. But I think it's just something that's negatively affecting us that nobody is aware of. And I've asked online, I'm like, am I the only one that's happening to? And I ask in the PICL forum, I ask in the prolotherapy forum, I ask in orthopedic fusion forum, and like every time I get responses from other people saying, yeah, it happens to me too. And they can't look at screens. So it's definitely not just me, and it's affecting other people. So I think it could be affecting all of us. But obviously, once you have instability, then it can make that worse and worse, because it's like pulling on a few threads versus pulling on a big rope, because our connective tissue is degenerated like that. Those few threads aren't going to hold. The big strong rope is going to hold. But still, I mean, I think we're going to see a lot more CCI problems with kids starting off, before they can even walk on screens. A lot of it's because of hunching over, but I think also, like when I was a kid, we never looked at screens. We didn't even play video games. like we played board games. We ran around outside and threw rocks and shit. Like so like um, we got injured more, but like in other parts of our body, like we fell off bikes and stuff. But we weren't ever looking down at something like a book or anything. Or I started reading when I was like, novels and stuff when I was like 10. Um, that, maybe that didn't help, but like even then, that's not as hard as your eyes as like a cell phone screen or like a laptop or a computer or a tablet or whatever. So you get the idea. So I think this is just a contributor of a problem. And if you have CCI, then it makes it worse for me. It might be making it worse for you as well. If you're someone with CCI and you're like, I have vertigo, then try going just a whole day, no cell phone, don't look at any screens, just nothing. And get all the audiobooks and podcasts you want. You have all the audio entertainment you want. Call your friends, talk to them, call whoever. Just don't look at a screen, and see if you feel better the following day. See if you feel better that night, the following day. See if any symptoms improve. So I know for me, my tinnitus improves when I stay away from screens significantly. Like if I looked at screens all day, my tinnitus will be blaring. And when I don't look at screens, it's very quiet. Like if I don't look at any screens all day, it's pretty quiet. So it's a big difference. Although my tinnitus is caused by internal jugular vein compression, so if yours is not caused by that, then it may not affect you. It may not have any effect on the tinnitus, but it could, like, I have less vertigo, less dizziness. Like if I don't look at a screen all day, I barely feel dizzy at all day. And my neck feels stronger. So yeah, like I have less neck pain. So just thought you should know.